What do you think I'm going to say next? My friends, welcome to maybe the most challenging, the most difficult, the most, I don't know, kind of problems on the AP exam. Now, I wouldn't say these are the most difficult, but my gosh darn it, when you're learning these are hard, and you just need tons of practice in order to be able to understand these. So we want to take derivatives with square roots. Let me just rewrite the problem a little nicer over here. We got the square root of x plus pi. And I want to determine f prime of 4. Maybe for this first video, we're just going to take the derivative and we're not even going to plug in a number. We'll do that on the next one, okay? But for now, let's just do this. So we want to take the derivative of this. Now, anytime we take a derivative, we want to have some, like when we have x to the third, right? Well, we take the derivative, we bring it down, we get 3x, subtract 1, and we get 2. Well, here I don't see an exponent. That's why in the previous video, I really wanted us to focus on being able to turn this into fractional so that we can have an exponent. Well, the square root of x is the same thing as what? Well, we went over this. Square means 2, right? And this is just, there's like an invisible 1 here, so this is just 1/2. Anytime you don't see a number on the outside here, if it was 3, like that, then this would be x to the 1/3. But because we don't see a number there, we assume it's 2 because the word square root, it assumes a 2. So we can rewrite this as x to the 1/2 plus pi. Okay, now we want to take the derivative of this, and we still follow that same power rule. It does not matter what it is, even though it's a fraction. We bring this down, so we're going to get 1/2 x, and now we subtract 1. And let me put it over here. We got 1/2 minus 1. Well, this is kind of hard to do. So let's rewrite this instead to be 1/2. Instead of 1, let's rewrite it as 2/2. And this is just a clever way to be able to do this because now we have common denominators, right? We can just do the operation on the numerator. 1 minus 2 is -1. So this right here will be -1/2. Well, what's the derivative of pi? Well, my friends, the derivative of pi is just a number, and the derivative of any number is 0 because it doesn't have any rate of change. All right, so here's my derivative. Now, we're not done just yet because what we would like to do is we'd want to be able to rewrite this so that we can plug in 4 eventually. Now, here's the thing. Because I have this fraction of 1/2, okay, I'm going to ignore the 1/2 for a moment, and let's just focus on this right here, okay? Well, what does the negative exponent mean? That means you're going to take x and you're going to put it on the denominator. And because there's a fraction, I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, we're going to put it on the denominator. So we need to flip it and put it on the denominator, and it's x to the 1/2. Last but not least, this is now going to become, I'll write it now over here, f prime of x, 1/2. And x to the 1/2 is just another way to rewrite square root. So if you want to, you can now put it as such. There it is. So this is just 1/2 times the square root of x. Now, if you want to, you can plug in 4, and we get 1/2 times the square root of 4. We get 1/2 times 2. Oh, this is 1/4. Okay, and that would be my instantaneous rate of change. Notice how it's not on the multiple choice. I must have made a mistake, so it should be 1/4. Let me just rewrite this over here in the corner. We get f of x is equal to 4 times the square root of x plus pi squared. And we want to determine f prime of 9. Okay, there should be some parentheses around here. I'm going to change the color. I just don't like it for some reason. How about this? Okay, it'll be a surprise. Okay, here we go. First thing I want to do is I want to rewrite this, my friends. Oh, look at how nice that writes. Okay, well, this is square root. Okay, this is 4 times the square root. Don't mistake this to be 4 on the little exponent there. Okay, this is not the 4th root. This is 4 times the square root. So this is going to be 4 times x, well, to the 1/2 because there's no number here on the outside. Plus pi squared. All right, now let's take the derivative of this. Well, what do? First things first, we always bring the 1/2 down. So it's 4 times. Now, if you want to, you can put parentheses. I really won't. I'll put a little multiplication dot, and we get 1/2 x to the, well, now we subtract 1, but instead of subtracting by 1, let's rewrite it so we have a common denominator. 1 minus 2, okay, 1 minus 2 is negative 1/2. We did this problem previously. Okay, well, what's the derivative of pi squared? Well, pi squared is just a number, right? 3.14 squared. Again, this is just some number, derivative is 0. So let's do this. Well, what's 4 times 1, right? They're both on the numerator. 4 times 1 is 4, and then we have a divided by 2. Well, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we're going to get f prime of x is equal to 2x to the negative 1/2. Let me go ahead now and just start to rewrite it over here. We got f prime of x is equal to 2 times x to the negative 1/2. Now what we can do here is the negative means put it on the denominator. Notice that the 2 is no longer a fraction, okay? Now because it's just a 2 on the numerator, then I'll go ahead, just so I don't get confused, I'll just go ahead and put the x on the denominator, like that. Then we can rewrite this as 2 over, well, the square root of x. Plug in 9 now, and we get 2 over the square root of 9, which is 2 over 3, okay? Again, looks like I made a mistake. Just put 2 over 3, boom, we'll call it C, all right? So let's go ahead and just continue on. We'll get some more practice until we just feel a little bit more confident. All right, we are back, my friends. Let us begin. So let us go ahead and rewrite this over here, and let's see if we can maybe go through these a little bit quicker. We got f of x is equal to 4 over the square root of x plus e squared, okay? I want to rewrite this. We'll do this step by step. We're going to get f of x is equal to 4 over x to the 1/2, right? Just rewrite it as a fraction plus e squared, okay? Last but not least, what we're going to get is, if we continue on, we want to put this back on the numerator. So this is 4x to the negative 1/2, right? Working with negative exponents. Okay, now let's take the derivative of this. Okay, well, you bring the 1/2 down, the negative, so 4 times negative 1 over 2 x, and subtract by 1. But instead of subtracting by 1, let's subtract by 2 over 2. Well, what's negative 1 minus 2? Well, that's negative 3 over 2. And the derivative of e squared, well, again, that's just a number, 2.71 squared. Well, that's gone. So here it is. So let's do this. What's 4 times negative 1? Negative 4 divided by 2, negative 2. So what we're going to get, let me write it over here now. What we're going to get is f prime of x is equal to negative 2x to the negative 3 over 2. And what do we do here? Well, what we can do is the negative 2 is just on the numerator. The negative exponent on the x means put it on the denominator. So this is negative 2 over x to the 3 over 2. We can rewrite this now into fractional form, into the square root form, or we could just continue on like such. Plug in the 4 now, and we get 3 over 2. I'll write it a little bit better here. Negative 2 over 4 raised to the 3 over 2. Okay, well, what does the 2 on the bottom mean? It means square root. What two numbers multiply to give you 4? Well, what's the square root of 4? That's 2. So you get negative 2 over 2 to the third power. And what's 2 to the third power? Well, 2 to the third power is 8. Now we can simplify this to be 2 over 8. Divide the top and bottom by 2, and you get negative 1 over 4. And that's our solution here, okay? Pretty tricky, pretty tricky. Why not? Let's just go ahead and do maybe this one here, and we'll call it a day, just because I know these take a while, and really we're going to get a lot of practice on this. I just want you to get an idea. Well, how can we rewrite this? So f of x, we can rewrite this as x to the 7 over 4. If you watch the introduction of fractional videos, we went over how to rewrite problems like this. Now let's take the derivative. All right, you bring this down here, and you get 7 over 4 x to the, and we subtract by 1. Okay, but instead of subtracting by 1, let's subtract by 4 over 4, just so that we have common denominators. 7 minus 4, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 3, so we get 3 over 4. Notice that 3 over 4 is positive. I don't need to rewrite this at all. We are golden. So let's say we were to plug in, I don't know, 16. So we get 7 over 4, and we're going to get 16 raised to the 3 over 4. Well, the 4 on the bottom says what number multiplied by itself 4 times gives you 16, and I do believe that is 2. Right? 2 times 2 is 4, times 4 is 16. So now we're going to get f prime of 16 is going to equal 7 over 4 times 2 raised to the third. Well, what's 2 to the third? That's going to be 8. So this is what we're going to get so far. Okay, we're going to get 7 over 4 times 8. Now, maybe a little confusing here. We got a fraction times 8. You can put this over 1 if you want to. 7 times 8 is, for some weird reason, I do not know what that is. I can't believe this is happening to me right now. I'm trying to teach you calculus, and I don't even know what 7 times 8 is. Okay, I thought it was 52, but I should have known. 56 over 4 times 1, which is 4. And there it is, my friends. Okay, 56 over 4. So that's just showing you how to go over square roots and how to work with them. I know they're a bit challenging, but I promise you we'll get better and better